You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for another week of The Ride to Work. I am so grateful that each and every one of you are here. Start of a brand new week. It's Monday, and we are starting a brand new series entitled I Need Some Work. Boy, self-reflection is the key this week. I need some work. Basically dealing on the character attribute as far as response. How do we respond? I always tell you we need to be responding people, not people that react, but people that respond. And today's title, of the series, should I say, I need some work. The first thing we want to work on today is I need some work on my attitude. Anybody out there can say this right now. I need some work on my attitude. Listen, before you let the world have access to you today, this day, this Monday, before you give them any kind of peek into you and your life and how you're going to operate in this day, before you answer the phone, before you respond to emails, before you step into another conversation, listen, I want you to check something. Hear me when I say it. I want you to check something, not your appearance, not your schedule. Check your attitude. That's what I want you to do. Check your attitude, because your attitude, listen, that's the filter through which you experience life. That's what it is. See, two people can walk into the same situation, have completely different outcomes because they brought two different attitudes to play. One person sees a problem, but another person sees an opportunity. Think about that for a moment. Huh? One person sees correction, another person sees rejection. How they're viewing it. A person can see delay while another person sees, look, that's just preparation. You got to understand, check your attitude, because sometimes the thing that needs the most work in our lives is not our circumstances, it's our character. It's our character. Because your character, hear me, is revealed in moments when you don't get your way. Man, we're going to talk about this morning. Check your attitude. I need some work on my attitude. Hmm? Let me just say it like this. Your attitude is revealed when nobody agrees with you. Think about that. Think about it. It's revealed when nobody agrees with what you're saying, what you're about, what you're trying to do, what you're proposing. Nobody agrees with you. Nobody agrees with what you're trying to get them to accept. Nobody agrees with you. Your maturity, should I say? Watch this. Here's something else. It's revealed when things don't happen on your timeline. Do you pitch a fit? Do you throw a pity party? Do you act childlike? Do you fold your arms and stick your lips out and pout and all? Come on, we just talking about attitude. Hmm? Talking about attitude, because it's very important. That's why I want you to ask yourself the question, look, do I need some work on the way I respond? Do I? Do I need some work on that? Things don't go my way, when things aren't the best for me. Do I need some work on how I respond, or the way I respond? The first point I want to bring out to you, this is what I need you to pay attention to. Listen, watch your reaction before you explain your intention. That's real good. Oh man, that's real good. And I learned that. That's why I'm presenting it to you. We need to watch our reactions before explaining our intentions. Look, one of the hardest things for people to accept, the hardest things for them to accept, is that our intentions and our impact are not always the same thing. They're not. You can mean well and still cause harm. You can. Do you hear when I say that? Because some of you may have experienced that. You can have a good heart. I mean, your heart can be pure. You can have a good heart, but still have a bad reaction. You can. I mean, I just want you to hear me when I say this. You can love somebody. Man, till the day is long, you can love them and still respond in a way that makes them feel like you don't. You can. And growth happens when we stop only asking, what did I mean? Growth happens when we stop only asking, what did I mean? Do you hear what I say? Because we need to start asking, what did my response communicate? Mm? Not just what did I mean, but what did my response say to you? Because people of maturity, people that have grown, people that are mature, they don't only examine their motives, they examine their methods. That's what they do. Look, let's talk for real for a moment, and just be honest. Some of us have a pattern. We do. We have a pattern. When we're frustrated, we get sharp and short with people. Mm? Some people know us well when we in our little moods. We get disappointed. We withdraw. It's patterns. People pick up on it. You ought to know your own pattern. When you get corrected, what happens? You get defensive. Man, I know some folk like that. Oh my goodness. You correct them. They just can't accept correction. They see it as rejection and they just get defensive. That's what they do. But then afterwards we say, well, that's not who I am. Yeah, it's not who you are. But let me give you an uncomfortable truth. It may not who you say it's not who you are, but if it keeps showing up, it's showing you something. It is. If it keeps showing up, it's showing you something. See, your reaction is revealing something that still needs work. That's what's going on. So you can say that's not who you are, but there's something in you, something, a part of you that still needs some work. Because anybody can be patient when everything is going well and going right for them, but, huh? Come on, think about that. Anybody can be good when they're comfortable. They can have a good attitude when, they're winning on every turn, on every curve, every circle, everywhere they turn around. They're winning, they're on top. But character shows up when the pressure shows up. That's when character shows up. I've told you before, a thermometer doesn't create the temperature, it reveals the temperature. That's what it does. Pressure doesn't create what's inside you. Pressure reveals what's inside of you. And what are we doing? What are we showing? What's showing up when that pressure hits? Huh? What's showing up? A difficult conversation? You know what? That difficult conversation didn't create your impatience. It just revealed it. How about a frustrating situation? That didn't create your anger. That didn't make your anger come out. It just exposed where apparently there's some healing that's needed. Huh? And that's important, people. That's important because you cannot fix what you refuse to acknowledge. I need you to understand and write this down if you can. And say to yourself, look, my reaction is a reflection of my character, and my character is always under construction. It's always being worked on. Because there are so many things that can affect or impact it or move it a certain way. So that's why you have to always continue to allow yourself to be worked on. Don't close yourself off. Don't shut the doors and say, look, I'm complete, I'm good. No. Our character is always being worked on. It's always under construction. Second thing I need you to know, listen, stop letting a bad moment become a bad pattern. Everybody has moments. We do. Everybody has days when they don't respond perfectly. We don't. We've had moments where our emotions have gotten the best of us. We have. I know. All of us have. I say us. All of us have. But the problem is not having the moment. The problem is when we make the moment our identity. A bad day becomes, this is just how I am. A bad reaction becomes, people just have to deal with me. A mistake becomes, that's just my personality. No, no, people, no, you are not your worst moment. You're not. But you know what? You are responsible for what you continue to repeat. Can we talk for real for a moment? Look, I know people like this. Some people keep apologizing for the same thing over and over. I'm sorry I snapped. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry I reacted that way. Uh, but eventually that apology has to become an adjustment. It has to, because an apology without change becomes a cycle. It becomes a cycle. And at some point, people get tired of hearing your apologies. You don't grow because you regret it. You grow because you address it. You address it. That's why. If you ignore a crack in the foundation, even though it's small, it becomes a bigger problem. You got to understand that. Character flaws work that same exact way. A small attitude issue left unchecked becomes a relationship problem. It does. A small pride issues, you know what? That becomes a leadership problem. A small impatience issue becomes a missed opportunity. Small things become big things when they're never, ever confronted. Look, a moment may explain me, but a pattern will define me. My God. Listen, I got to move on. I got to move on. I don't want to be long this morning. We're starting out hot, starting out hot. Oh man, listen. Third thing I need you to know as we work our way towards the end of this first episode, look, choose responses that match the person you're becoming. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do starting now. The question is not just how do I feel? The question is who am I becoming? Because sometimes your feelings belong to an old version of yourself. Uh, that's what's happening. The old you reacted. The new you responds. The old you had to prove a point. The new you protects your peace. The old you needed to win every argument. The new you understands that maturity sometimes means just letting stuff go. Just letting it go. You have to stop giving yesterday's version of yourself permission to control today. You can't say you're growing and keep responding the same way. You can't. You can't say you want better relationships and refuse to work on your communication. Come on now. Come on now. Your next level requires a different version of yourself. Problem isn't always, look, let me say this. Let me say this. Let me try to give you this example. Let me see. Listen, a boat, a ship. Let's say a ship. A ship can have the right destination. It can, but still drift off course because of a small detail or misalignment. I'll say it like that. The destination is still there. See, the problem isn't always the destination. Sometimes the adjustment is needed in the direction. Just a minor adjustment. Your attitude, hear me when I say it's like a steering wheel. If your attitude is off, everything you're trying to reach becomes harder. Sometimes just make the adjustment. The person you're becoming requires you to respond differently than the person you used to be. Just does. Look, today before you react, and I'm getting ready to get up out of here. The day before you react, just pause long enough to ask, listen, is this response coming from who I'm becoming or who I used to be? Check it. Just check it and see. Uh, is this response, is it coming from a place of who I'm becoming, whom I'm working towards, or is it coming from the place of the person of who I used to be and how I used to be? Because life will give you opportunities every day to reveal your character. It will. Trust me. And nobody's saying you got to be perfect. Not saying that. But you do have to be willing to work on yourself. You do have to do that because everybody wants a better life. Come on, but a better life requires a better you. Come on, there's got to be some effort, some work involved. Has to be. So listen, I need you to work on that. Work on your attitude. All of us need to work on our attitudes. Work on our attitudes. Look, who we're becoming. Let's respond in this person that we're wanting to be. Not the same old, same old. Because attitude is how you respond. But discipline is how you keep yourself moving. Thank you so much for joining us for the ride to work. We'll be riding again tomorrow in this new series this week. I need some work. And you know what? Tomorrow, listen, I just said that last statement because tomorrow we're going to be talking about needing some work on our discipline. I need some work on my discipline. My. Thank you so much again. We'll be riding in the morning. God bless.